In this video, I'm going to show you guys how I use fiberglass to repair the plastic basket on the back of this microcar. As you can see, it suffered some damage where it likely got burned by the original exhaust pipe going right underneath the basket there. So I'm just taking it out, and while I'm at it, I'm also getting rid of all of the contact glue that was left behind from maybe some carpet or some laminate that was glued there at one point. So you can buy fiberglass at like any of your hardware stores or Walmart. This is where I got this time. So I got the fiberglass resin, which is $25, and then I got fiberglass cloth, which was $6, and fiberglass mat, which was also $6. So I have my box ready for fiberglass now. I've drilled some little holes through kind of where the spot is where it was damaged, just so that I can reinforce it on both sides. It can kind of like go through those holes. I don't know, I thought it might make it a bit stronger. And so basically it's been sanded and degreased, just using some alcohol to make sure that nothing's gonna keep the fiberglass from sticking to it. I just want to give you a quick little explanation on the fiberglass that I use. So I like the Bondo brand fiberglass. Has like the red car on it on the products. Basically, fiberglass is like paper mache. Pretty much going to cut some of this stuff. It doesn't really matter if you use the mat, which is like the kind of this chair is broken. The mat, which is like kind of just webbed kind of fibers, or if you use the cloth, which is like more of a material looking fiberglass. I'm going to start with the mat. And pretty much you just cut out a piece that's 2 or 3 inches bigger than the area that you need to fix before saturating it with resin. It's important to pre-cut your pieces before you mix the resin, because after you mix it, you're going to want to use it quickly. It does harden just in a few minutes and will start to ball up, so you're going to want to have your pieces pre-cut, and I did about 3 layers for my first go. Smell it already. Just a warning, the stuff smells really strong, kind of like a really strong nail polish remover. So you might want to wear a mask. I'm doing it in an open garage, so that's fine. And some people also like to wear gloves. It's hard to get off your skin, and I'm sure it's not good for you. So yeah, that's your disclaimer. So the way I mix this is the same fraction of the resin bottle with the same fraction of the hardener. So like if you're going to use half this, use half of this little bottle mixed in with it. If you're going to use a quarter, and so on. Never mix the whole thing. It'll dry up and harden before you get to use it all. Yeah, and I do it on a paper plate. Used to save plastic, like mac and cheese cups. And use those for it, but I don't have any right now, so. It's also super important to put a layer of resin onto whatever you're fixing before you put the fiber on. Otherwise, after you're finished, it's gonna run the risk of just peeling off like a band-aid. Maybe not right away, but definitely eventually. So once the resin starts to go on, you don't have very long. I find this dabbing motion helps a lot to get the resin saturated into the fiber. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks there now, and I'm going to leave it to dry. In hindsight, I probably wouldn't have made those drill marks. I did try to fill them with resin so that on the other side where I reinforce it, that it kind of connects and holds from both sides, but it definitely would have been fine without it. So I'm just kind of filling the recessed area where the hole is before putting some on top. My phone did die, and since this stuff hardens really quickly, I didn't have a chance to charge it before finishing. But as you can see, it's like a super rock hard finish.
So you definitely could stop at this point. It does not need paint unless you've used body filler, but this fiberglass is totally watertight. However, I plan to paint it black to match this box, so I'm just going to sand it before painting it.
So at this point, I definitely could add a little bit more fiberglass. Just for aesthetic purposes, it kind of divots in just a slight bit where the hole was, but it's strong enough, and for what it's worth, I'm just going to paint it and call it done. And for paint for this, I'm just using the Krylon Fusion Gloss Black. Alright, so this is what I'm finishing with. It's way stronger than it was before. Even originally, the plastic isn't as strong as fiberglass, so this feels so much sturdier than the whole rest of this box now. And then the inside, like cosmetically not perfect. I still am happy that I got all the glue that was in here before out.
Hopefully if you're using fiberglass for the first time, this video gave you some pointers on what to expect. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you.